Hello everybody, it's me, Riffraff Hornhelm, and I'm back again with another presentation from the Dwarven Vault. And today we have a monster review. And the monster we're going to take a look at today is the Salamander. And the Salamander is as brought to us from the original monster manual for use with basic Dungeons & Dragons and advanced Dungeons & Dragons, or what we typically call 1E today. Salamander, very cool creature, from the elemental plane of fire. Now, they show up in the prime material plane on occasion. No one knows why. It's for their own devices, as it says. Okay. They make great guardians. They are a 7+7 hit dice creature. They have a armor class of 5/2. And the 5 is the upper human-like torso of the salamander, as you can see from the pictures. And the lower snake part is what's at 2, and much harder to hit. Now, they typically attack with a large metal spear, but essentially their damage is by weapon type, plus an extra 1 to 6 points based on the amount of heat that comes off of it. They also have a tail attack, and if they thwack you with the tail, I think it's like 2 to 12 points, and also additional damage, 1 to 6 points based on heat. Their bodies throw off so much heat because essentially they can't exist for very long in temperatures that are lower than 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, sorry, rest of world. I mean, this was written by guys in Wisconsin, so it's in Fahrenheit. Can't help it. And typically would like to be in temperatures of 500 degrees or greater. So these are great guardians to throw in like a lava lake that's around an island that has a treasure on it, something of that nature. I've certainly used these before. They're evil creatures. And because they come from the elemental plane of fire, hold, sleep, charm, all of those don't work. And frankly, they're immune to any kind of fire damage. Cold damage does 1 extra hit point of damage per die of damage that's delivered. And they don't have any special resistance to magic beyond what's already been mentioned. And they do require you to hit them with +1 or better weapons. Now, of course, all of that comes with the caveat that it's up to your DM how they handle things on that side. Like I said, these are evil. They're highly intelligent. If you're able to, and once again, this is where the DM gets involved, perhaps hire a couple to guard a treasure, especially if you're evil. They would do a great job of it. They're a very cool creature and not the easiest to kill. I mean, remember that this is a creature from the elemental plane of fire. If you kill it outside of the plane of fire, it just goes back to its home plane. The only way you're going to kill it is if you were in the plane of fire, and then you're dealing with all kinds of things, Afridi and whatnot. I mean, you don't want to go there. But it's a very, very cool creature, and one that, I could definitely see any of the normal humanoid races would have problems in dealing with this creature. That's how could it be otherwise? Now, of course, in talking to the dwarves in my local community, hey, do we ever run into these? I never have. And I heard a story that, yes, once when the dwarves were exploring, they came into the side of a volcano, and there was indeed an evil, I believe it was a demon's treasure or something like that, being guarded by salamanders. And there was a big brouhaha. But, it was relatively recent, only a couple thousand years ago, and I don't think it's one that really caused as much difficulty as you might expect. And even though they are listed as very rare, you can run into 2 to 5 of them. There is one advantage: they don't run as fast as a human does, so that's a definite advantage if you're trying to get away from them. And, really in most encounters, you're not going to run into these. They don't handle temperatures that are lower. in the heart of our forge, they'd be able to live. But, we got lots of doors there, and we want our forge, so we would deal with that. Um, it is definitely a creature that is useful in some very specific encounters, in terms of in the gaming world, but I'm not so sure it is for much beyond that. Of course, we had to go out to the greater Hornhelm community and ask the DMs and players and said, hey, what about the Salamander? DMs came back and said, yeah, really nifty creature, very limited usage, but very effective when they were able to use them. They came back and gave it a solid 6, and that seemed to be pretty universal. I would not necessarily disagree with that. This is a tough creature to deal with. In their environment, you got to be careful. Yes, I mean, if you're protected from fire, for instance, magical fire and whatnot, it's not going to do damage to you from the heat part of it. But regular weapons are still regular weapons, and unless you have protection against that, they can still hurt you. So a 6 from the DMs, I thought was pretty fair. In asking the players about it, they actually gave it a slightly higher. They said about a 6.5 at the top end, 6 to 6.5. And that's because they were just very difficult to deal with. The environment they had to fight them in colored the response. That makes sense. Very interesting creature. You're in for a hot time tonight if you're going to have an encounter with a salamander. So that, my friends, is the Salamander. We hope you found today's presentation to be interesting, amusing, informative, all that kind of good stuff. If you did, please be so kind as to leave us a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't. And definitely, leave us a comment, share with your friends. Certainly come back and see us again real soon. We thank you so very much for your kind support. Take care, everyone. Remember, dwarves rock!